is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your time with me today here on my YouTube channel. And we're going to be talking about OTCs and Robinhood. So what is an OTC? OTC is an over-the-counter stock. And we're going to be getting into more of this, what it is, and whether there's pros and cons to having one. But the reason we're talking about it is because I got a notification today on the Robinhood app, and you probably did too, that fractional shares of OTCs will no longer be supported on Robinhood. Now, what is a fractional share? Well, that's where you decide to buy a portion of a stock, or more likely a cryptocurrency. Most of you probably have Bitcoin, but you don't have a full Bitcoin. You probably have fractions of it. And some people likewise might say, hey, I want to invest in Costco, but at 900 something dollars, I just don't have that kind of money for a full share. Maybe I'll just put $25 into it. And they'll just put $25 into it a little over time until they finally have that share or two, or however many they want. Well, that is what fractional share buying is. It's definitely a huge draw to Robinhood because a lot of brokers wouldn't entertain the notion of fractional shares. Most of them wanted you to buy full shares or none at all. Well, Robinhood does that, and they also offer over-the-counter stocks, which is actually kind of a nice thing about their app, but they're no longer going to be offering the fractional shares. Now, let's look into detail what an over-the-counter share is. Understanding OTC, this is from Robinhood's own website. Over-the-counter refers to how stocks are traded when they are not listed on a formal exchange. Such trades might happen directly with the company owners or might be done through a broker. In the United States, listed companies are bought and sold on the New York Stock Exchange or the National Associations of Security Dealers Automated Quotation. Companies not listed on the NYSE or NASDAQ can sell equity in their business over the counter. Other financial securities traded outside an exchange are also considered OTC, such as bonds, derivatives, currencies, and other complex industries. Now, they cite an example here, and that example is Facebook has been around since 2004. It spent its early years growing into what is now a technology giant. In 2012, the company decided to go public and sell shares of the company via the NASDAQ exchange. Although the initial public offering didn't happen until 8 years after the company launched, that doesn't mean you couldn't own a piece of the company before then. If you wanted to buy into the fledgling company back in 2007, you would have needed to do it over the counter. So that's what it is. Now, what are the pros and cons of doing that? So here are the pros. By getting in on the ground floor, you can take a position in a company before it grows. Then, when the company emerges as the next big thing, you will already have multiplied your investment several times over. Just imagine buying Amazon for a few pennies a share when it was just an infant of a company. As the company grew, the value of your shares would have grown alongside the other owners. Now here's the cons. Most of the companies that trade OTC are not on an exchange for a reason. Some are companies that will never turn into anything. Some might be horrible investments with no real chance of making you any money at all. And it might be hard to separate the wheat from the chaff. You might not get accurate information from them, or you may get no financial statement at all. So when you read that, I think it's pretty clear why Robinhood would stop selling you the fractional shares of OTC. I mean, it's just a logistical headache in general. These are not typical sales. You got to go straight to the company. It probably involves more paperwork. It's probably involves a more complicated system thing. And of course, as they stated, a lot of these OTCs, they never go anywhere. So Robinhood has decided that, you know what, we're still going to sell these things. We're going to sell them, and I'm showing the visual of the car because that's what, basically an OTC is. Like, it's like selling your car on your own without going to CarMax or something like that. Robinhood will still sell these OTC stocks, but you're going to have to buy whole shares of them. And to be honest, that's probably how it should be. Most OTC shares are not terribly expensive. They're usually pretty cheap because they're in fundraising mode. They're trying to get you to invest money into the company so that it could grow. I mean, it's not like when Facebook was over the counter, they were selling shares for like $100 a share. Heck, I think when that thing went public, it went public at $40 a share. So Yeah, OTCs are not exactly expensive, so why would you be buying fractional shares of it anyway? But this is a small little announcement for Robinhood users, just to know that that's what's going on. I am curious though, do any of you have any OTC stocks on Robinhood? Have you ever bought them in fractional shares? Oh, before we round this up, I should mention, if you have a fractional share for an OTC on Robinhood, those positions will be closed and you'll get your money back on that. So I just want to let that know. But continuing with the wrap up, do you have any of these shares? Why did you buy them? Heck, what are they in? I'm kind of curious to see what companies my viewers are investing in that's not on the stock exchange. So, tell me in the comments below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.
Hey, you made it to the end. Thank you so much for making it to the end. Just a few more things. First of all, the names that you see on the screen, these are our Patreon and YouTube member supporters. And I thank each and every one of them. Their support helps me make exclusive videos for Patreon and YouTube members, as well as keep the channel running. And of course, is just of huge kindness to me. Also, don't forget to check out the iCritic-led podcast on Spotify, Apple, Google, Deezer, whatever podcasting service you listen to. It is there. We definitely want to see you there. And hey, there's also other videos that you can check out. So, check out these other channels, these other videos, especially that one. I think that's a really good one.